We are live coming to you. What is it, Friday already? I'm back again. And as promised, we're talking about your art, my art, all of our art on Bitcoin. I'm joined today with my friends Berhanu and someone very special, someone who I'm so excited also to introduce you to today. I wonder, do you know my friend Bit Savage? He's going to introduce himself to you. But first, me. I mean, we can't forget about me. My name is Maxximillian. My friends call me Maxximillian. I've been putting art on the blockchain since 2021. I love all the chains. We are blockchain agnostic, although we do love Bitcoin. There's something wonderful about the provenance. It was the first. It's like it's unlike any other. I said it and I've been saying it and I'm going to keep on saying it. I believe that blockchains are like people. They each have their own superpowers. And I think that when we are thoughtful about where we're putting our art, we're going to find that there's a blockchain to suit every collection, maybe every piece. But before I go too deep, let me pass it over and let my friend introduce himself. Bid Savage, will you please take it away and to introduce yourself, tell the people about yourself and who you are.
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
There we go. We got the audio. Video's a little crazy, but happy fantastic Friday, Maximilian. Thanks for having us. Appreciate you for what you're doing and what you bring to the space. Definitely got to give everyone flowers for just being in Web3 and being innovators, being pioneers. And it's if you're in Web3, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in this space, especially for the past 4 years, you probably be a little crazy, a little delusional. I know I am. But we need these people, like us, these archons, these vanguards, to forge ahead and I want to say kind of equalize the space. So I'm Bit Savage. Got in Bitcoin around 2016, 2017. And my path was one for research and testing. So I did that for about a year or two, then found out about NFTs in 2018, CryptoKitties, and just fell in love. I was like, as an artist, I was on hiatus learning, blockchain, and then once I found NFTs, I said, this is me. This is how I can, bring my talent and my voice to the space. So yeah, 2018, people thought I was crazy. They're like, "What are you talking about NFTs?" And I just kept going, and I saw many platforms sprout up. A lot of the early platforms, I was talking to them, helping them implement certain things. But if it's not your project, you can't have your full voice heard. So I said, you know what? Let me start doing my own thing. And as we can see, the past few years, eight, almost nine platforms have shut down and just kind of lost the trust of the artists in Web3. So I took a pivot almost 2 years ago when Ordinals came out. I said, you can create art on Bitcoin, and the light bulb went off, and I just jumped in. And so we were building on Ethereum and Layer 2's Base Chain, but we said let's pause everything and fully dive into Bitcoin. And so yeah, here we are today. Our launch pad is going live pretty soon. Right now, Adores it's Ordinals. Ordinal, without an S, ordinal.adores.org is live. You can inscribe art, you can inscribe stories, anything you want on Bitcoin. You can make limited editions. And so my foundation is community. I definitely want to teach and help others build a legacy on Bitcoin. Like you said, Maximilian, Bitcoin is the first chain. I feel like if you're going to be serious as an artist, you should have a solid foundation on Bitcoin. You can do all the other chains as well, but you should come, learn, have fun, and really have a strategy for releasing on Bitcoin because it's a bit different. You can do some different things, and so yeah. So I'm here to talk, to educate, to learn. I don't know everything, so I'm here to learn, and I'm really excited for what's coming.
I'm so excited for what's coming too. I'm getting a flood of sunshine over here at Castle Maximilian. It's always happening like that. So you have to bear with me as I find a safe place for my camera. Just got to run from the sun a little bit. So bear with me. It's my aura. It's my aura as I talk about this art. It's just ever expanding. Ah! So Let me introduce my friend Berhanu. So Berhanu and I met in person, and now you correct me if I'm wrong, Berhanu, but I think the first time we met in person was at Art Basel. And so it's so lovely to have you closer, closer in my circle, closer. The more I talk to you, the more I like you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you through your art today. And I'd love for you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the art that you're going to be bringing onto the Bitcoin blockchain. Maybe a little bit about why you selected these pieces, because I know you have many collections you could choose from. And share whatever you'd like for us to know about yourself before we dive into this amazingly interesting topic of our art on Bitcoin. Take it away, Berhanu.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Taco Friday. Tacos are good any day, damn it. Bit Savage, thank you very much for your intro. And I'm like Carol Ann and Poltergeist. I'm running towards the light. Keep the light, run to the light. Anyway, my name is Berhanu, and I am a visual storyteller. I make photographic art, and I make portraits out of anything that I'm photographing. A lot of folks say, "No, humans are portraits. That's the only portrait." That's not what I do. I make portraits out of things that I feel connected to. I actually got involved in the crypto space or in the NFT space back in 2019, 20, I think it was. Started getting involved in the Tezos community. And of course, my first launch, my first NFTs that I created, my photographic NFTs that I created were on Calumet on the Tezos platform, which was just a lot of fun learning a new way of connecting people around the globe with my art out of the traditional gallery and museum space. I haven't been in a museum yet, but I've been in a number of galleries and I've had a few independent solo exhibits. So I'm excited about continuing to bring art to the blockchain and in particular onto Bitcoin as opposed to Ethereum. I have minted on Ethereum, on Foundation, and OpenSea, and those platforms have been great in the historical context. But I'm looking forward to doing and bringing something new for myself and the art that I create it for me. And if you love it and it resonates with you, I would hope that you would be a part of my journey photographically. The pieces that I'm going to be minting, the first two pieces that I'm going to bring to the Bitcoin blockchain, revolve around a volcanic mountain here in the Pacific Northwest and how she speaks to me and how she communicates to me and what I get to translate that communication I have with this volcano and bring that to you. And hopefully it will resonate with you. I know it will resonate with you. I don't have any doubts about that because she's an amazing mountain, and the images I've been able to create and capture over the last 5 years are just stunning. They are phenomenal. So, with that said, I'm going to roll on back a little bit and mute. So thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. Maximilian, thank you so much for the opportunity to sit with you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah, and looking forward to getting into it. And I'm very excited that you found that you have things that you want to put on Bitcoin because, um, like Bit Savage said, platforms sometimes are a closing. So when you have something that has, I'm going to say, not only cultural but historical value as we continue marching onward toward the future, whether we want to or not, that's what's up. And it's important to document the way that we see things so that someone else can come along and get a sense of what it was like to be around when you were around, what it was like to stand on your place from your viewpoint, from your perspective. So, not only cultural value, but historical value. For myself, I always want to bring my unique perspective to the culture of whatever I'm doing because I feel like everything has its own culture. Art has its own culture. Art collectorship has its own culture, and so on. I could go on. So I'm from Los Angeles. I'm a musician. I'm a rock person. I'm a rap person. I'm a bass person. I'm a sick ass beats person. I have all of these different elements to myself that is comprised of the things in life that have brought me joy and, you know, the places that I like to get lost in. So I like to bring that to everything I do. So if I embrace, for example, a meme, I will bring together the meme with Los Angeles, with the culture of art, with the uniqueness of who I am and whatever experiences I'm having throughout the day, all of it together. So in this way, every artwork that I create, whether it's some serious piece that what is serious art anyway? But if it's something that I'm putting together with great intention to send a particular message, attempting to assimilate some great epiphany that I had in some way that only other wizards can understand. Whether it's that or I've created some fun interactive piece, which is what I've gotten lost in doing, and I'm so excited to bring to the blockchain. I've discovered in my chats with Bit Savage that some of my animated pieces, even some interactive pieces, may be right for bringing it onto Bitcoin. And with an interactive piece, I can even say so much more. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I'm looking forward to learning about the nuances of bringing art onto Bitcoin. And looking forward to learning what Bit Savage wants us to know so that we're prepared next week and the week after and the weeks thereafter to bring our art onto Bitcoin because there are special considerations things that we should know, and he's going to tell us about those things. So tell us, take us through it, Bit Savage. What is it that we need to know? I've got my pens ready. I've even got like colored markers and everything. Right.
Nice,
Bit
nice.
Savage.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're here. You were ready.
All
We're
right.
ready. We got our pens. He's got his notebook. I've got my notebooks. You know what I'm saying?
That's the key. The first thing is two physical journals. um, so so just like all right. So if anyone's new to the space watching, get your journals out. If you're a veteran, still take some notes. It's always good to think about safety and security first, and then we'll lead into, bring your art to the blockchain. So as we said, I think you said this in the talk with Lemney last week. But the first thing is creating your account, which is basically creating a wallet. And people are familiar with this; they know about it. But even the most experienced people, things happen, and they end up either losing the seed phrase or they lose everything in the wallet. So there's a few ways to help yourself not get into a crazy predicament. So I told you the first thing is the DADS method, DADS, the DADS method, and that's basically in your physical journal. You're going to write down the date, the application, and the account. So you're going to copy the account. So if say if today's date is 10, what are we at? 10/18. Then the app, you're going to say, okay, I'm using Xverse wallet, and then a device. I'm using my cell phone or my laptop. And then you're going to write down the seed phrase. So you want the minimum, those four things in two locations. So whenever you look at it, it's not just a random string of letters. You know what to do. Okay, I did this last month, and I did this on Xverse on my phone. Here's the seed phrase. You can easily locate and triangulate how to recover, your wallet. Second thing I say is make minimum three wallets. You can do five if you can go for five, but three minimum. Reason being, you don't want one thing in every place. And there's like a tweet almost every week where people say, I clicked the bad link and everything's gone. And it's like, why do you have everything in one wallet? Why do you have hundreds of thousands of dollars on one wallet? So you want to put everything in either different wallets. You can have a wallet that's hot, you use it pretty frequently. You can have a wallet that's warm. You check it once a month or once a quarter, and you have a cold wallet, which you just put stuff. It's like a vault. You never touch it or check it. So that's three hot wallets. But there's also something called a cold wallet, which is a ledger. So there's actually 4 accounts. Oh, my camera's up. Um, y'all still hear me? Test 1, 2. I'm making sure because it looks frozen right now.
Yeah, you sound good. No, I
But
can
I'll
see
keep
you
going.
too. Yeah, go for it.
So he
Be safe.
said
Safety first.
hot wallets, cold wallets. Let me see something. So after you get your hot wallet and cold wallet secured and set, then you can start to work on the art. Um, let's back it up reverse 1 second before you go to work. So you want to pay attention to the websites. So a lot of times it's like the internet is crazy, but Web3 can be even crazier. People make a whole fake OpenSea account or a whole fake OpenSea website or a whole fake Blur website. So hackers are cloning and duplicating full websites just to try to get you to click it and sign a transaction to empty your wallet. Let me see. So what does that mean? When you go to OpenSea.io, put a star there, put a bookmark. Make sure you're going to the right website because it could be a O or a small O or the number O. They can change little things in websites to make you click the wrong website. They can also try to send you an email. They can try to send you DMs. They can social engineer you. Say, oh, you're friends with these people. Let me make a fake account. Let me clone a Twitter account and send you a DM. And most times with a fake Twitter account, there'll be a lot of red flags. But you can go to the account, see if there's any mutual friends, and then click on our media tab and see the pictures they posted in the past month. Usually a fake account has a few crypto pictures, and then it's like pictures of some random person because they probably stole their Twitter account or they bought it. People sell Twitter accounts. Let me see. Check in. Check in. Y'all hear me?
Yes,
Looking good.
absolutely. Sounds good.
Thumbs up. We doing good out there?
Yep, yep. Yeah. We're looking
All
into
right.
media tabs. We're looking
So
into media tabs. We're not getting
we
gaffled.
have archiving your seed phrase, watching the websites, social media, social engineering. Once you kind of get your mind wrapped around that, also join the community. We have communities amongst us. We got Doors, we got Ordinal 65, we got, let me see, Maxximillian. You have a Telegram account, Telegram room that everyone can get invited to. So in the community, you can lean on each other. And if someone's your friend and you kind of feel a little, you're not sure, ask someone else. Always confirm with 2 other people, 1 or 2 other people. So this is just the ground rules coming into the internet. Just clicking on, signing on the internet, ground rules, coming to Web3, being safe and cautious. Now, artwork. Let me see. How are we doing out there? We doing good? Because this thing is definitely
Yeah, you're doing good.
good. All right, so artwork. So inscribing on Bitcoin, when you inscribe, create an ordinal. So ordinals are, each satoshi is numbered. It's accounted for. So the ordinal protocol takes all, I think it's 1 quadrillion satoshis, and gives it a number. So you inscribe, putting putting art putting art on a satoshi is like the first layer of, it's kind of priceless, since Bitcoin is the first blockchain and we're able to put art onto the blockchain on Bitcoin through the witness data. So what does this mean? You get your art. Now technically there's only 4 megabytes of space for each block to hold for Bitcoin. So people are usually shrinking and making their artwork smaller and smaller, so the cost isn't as much. So usually around 10 kilobytes. I mean, 5 kilobytes is really good, really small cost. But if you're doing like full image photography, if you're doing very colorful stuff, you got to kind of tweak and have different formats, from JPEG to PNG to WebP, change the format, and to get it even smaller, if it's 1,000 by 1,000, going to 500 by 500. So that's kind of the initial way. Let me take a pause there and check in.
Sounds great. Sounding great.
Checking in, one, two, one,
Yep.
two.
Yep.
Well,
Sounding
the
good.
audio's still going, so I'm
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You sounded good. Yeah. You're good. You're good. Keep on
um,
flowing.
let me see. Let me pause it. Let me see if I can do a message. So, any questions? Let me know. You can even restart me if you're not showing up. So we have a door. So the door allows it's an app, and the way we built a door is to allow on-chain art and on-chain collections, which is parent-child. So now you're creating your art, you're creating your collection, and if any app goes down, you can still tell what's your art, the metadata, and the collection. Those three things are on-chain. So you can log into any dApp and that can be recalled. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna pause there.
Yeah, you're sounding good, and this is really fascinating. Berhanu, do you have any questions so far?
I am good. So far, so good.
Okay. Do you hear static
I do.
even now?
I still hear it. I think that other blockchain is trying to infiltrate us.
Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, it's me. It's me. Uh, I think it's my analog equipment or something. How's it going now? Okay. All right, Bit Savage, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Berhanu? I still hear that feedback. Do you hear it? I unplugged my analog equipment. That I thought it was causing the issue, but do you still hear it? Okay, me neither. Bit Savage, can you hear us? Bit Savage? Okay, maybe he'll be back. Well, he's still here, but Bit Savage, I don't know if you can hear us, but I'm gonna leave you a message in the. Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back. So Berhanu, do you have any questions so far?
No, I really appreciate the way he was laying things out from the rudimentary elements of minting on any chain. You know, I actually had my wallet drained once, and it was a really, no, it was a great experience. I
You are
mean,
so evolved, brother. My God.
yeah, I mean, I lost a few $1,000, but it was great though. You know, it was a great experience. It was like, oh, wow, this is what it's like when you have your wallet drained.
You're like, I feel absolutely naked. Like someone
I,
has taken and turned my guts inside out, and everyone's walking
yeah,
by and pointing at me.
but
What
here's
is
the
this new horror?
but here's the thing though. Like for me, it was a great learning experience, and I felt really good about it. And at the time, I had disposable income, so it didn't bother me.
Hmm.
And so I was like, oh, great, I lost a few $1,000s, but I learned a valuable lesson. And I was also able to go back and purchase some of the tokens that were drained out of my wallet, which was really cool.
Were you also allowed to like in real life, take a little note and like spit on it and go, "You jerk," and send it with the money?
No, I was hoping. No,
Just
no. I was
joking.
no, I was really hopeful that the person that drained my wallet and whomever I was purchasing it from really needed the money. Like I know the grifters and the scammers, and I'm not at all like condoning theft at any cost. However, I was like, I really hope the money did something good for their family or for themselves. I mean, I try to see the best in humanity, no matter, you know what I mean? We just never know. But again, it was a great experience to have my wallet drained. And it's also wonderful to hear, the reinforcement about some of the security protocols that we should be taking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and for newbies that are coming in, getting involved with Bit Savage or getting involved with Maxximillian with you or getting involved with me, and depending upon whatever platform you're working with, whether it's collecting NFTs, etc., getting involved with those communities, and if they have security teams, talking with those security teams. So it really is important to take those basic foundational steps of documenting everything in three and putting it in three different safe deposit box or what have you, and then making certain that you have two or three ledgers, etc.
I
So
mean, well, when you say it like that, I mean, it even makes me tired. Oh, dang. 3 ledgers. Oh, gosh. Let me get that rich, daddy. Golly. Um, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I see we got Bit Savage back. Oh, he's gone. He'll be back. He'll be back. Okay. So we've got this dad's method. Now, this was new to me. The first time I actually heard about this was from Bit Savage, but I like this. The date, the application. Now, I'll be honest, if I look back at my journal, I wasn't always writing down like the device, which is super important. And let me also remind everyone, 'cause someone reminded me the other day, the device, and we can create so many different addresses with that same device. So it's super important to write down the device because they all have different passwords. And it could be really frustrating to be looking at the password and being, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Because that was the password for your iPad. And actually, you made this account with your phone. That stuff really matters because there's nothing more frustrating than technical difficulties. So make sure it's not a user error, friends. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm looking for Bit Savage. I mean, I see he's here. Bit Savage, can you hear us?
Test 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, we
When
can hear
when
you.
did I get cut off? When did I get cut off?
Um, we got to Ordinal's protocol.
All right.
You were, yeah. So yeah, we got through to Ordinal's protocol. You were
All right.
just
So we
saying
got
that, yeah, you were
we
just
got the
taking us to the
safety,
platform.
security, and then to the
Yep.
platform. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Ordinals protocol. I guess rehash that Ordinals protocol is the numbering of all the satoshis.
Yep.
There's 21 million bitcoins. I think there's 1 quadrillion satoshis. So the protocol gives each satoshi a number. So when you inscribe your art, you're inscribing it to a satoshi with a witness data on a UTF tab. So that's the technical part. And so what this means is we now have the ability to take our art and put it onto the Bitcoin blockchain. Right now, I think forever it's only be 4 MB per block, which is a small amount of space. Yeah, very tiny. So what that means is people are getting their art to like 5 KB, for the cost to be around $10, $20. So when you start getting, if you're trying to inscribe something that's 1 MB, could be $1,000. So people, they do things with basically their lowered mind. There was someone that just inscribed a photograph for 4 MB. Looks incredible. It's gorgeous. And I think that cost, I want to say it costs around $6,000. So yeah, it can be a pretty big investment depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing stuff like museum grade quality, you can do a big file or a small file. It's all up to you, to the artist, what you want to do. What I recommend is finishing your art the full size and experimenting how you want to tweak it to get it to first of all what you want to spend on it, and second of all how you want to present it on Bitcoin. Some artists, if they're a painter or photographer, they might want to take just a picture of their art and put the same thing on the blockchain. Some people animate their things. Some people add different attributes to it. In other ways, a simple way, I don't know if you caught this the other time, is the file size. So you can go from JPEG to PNG to WebP. And by going to these different file sizes, these file extensions, the size will be smaller. If you're dealing with gray tones, black and whites, you can get it to a really small size. If it's very colorful, it's going to need more information. It's going to be bigger file size. So, for example, if you have 1,000 by 1,000 image, it's pretty colorful. You get it down to like a WebP on the extension, and say if you took it to a 500 by 500, so just kind of decreasing it by half, that could bring down the cost and size as well. And there's other tricks as well. You got recursion, you got delegation. So there's a lot of experiments to do, and I think that's where the fun is. It's having fun, experimenting. I do feel like I'll also mention about parent-child. So number one, putting your art on Bitcoin. It's on chain. It's on the number one blockchain that's starting a legacy. Art on chain, and then number two, parent-child is putting your collection on chain. And number three, your metadata on chain. So when you have your art, your collection, and your metadata all on chain, it doesn't matter it shouldn't matter which dApp you use, because you have all that on chain, so you can go to any dApp, pull up the parent-child collection, you have all the art and metadata, and it can go anywhere. So this is what we are leading with at Adores, parent-child, art, and metadata. I'll pause there.
I love it. So I want to ask you if you would talk a bit about recursion. Imagine that some artist listening has never heard this term before. So could you give it to us in the context of how an artist might plan to integrate recursion into potentially how we might use that to deliver our files, or how we might consider it as we prepare our files?
Definitely. So recursion, I love recursion. Some artists don't love it, but I feel like recursion, it's like if you're working in Photoshop, you're taking the layers and you're inscribing each layer, and then you can mix and match them almost generatively back on the blockchain. So for example, if you paint a flower and you inscribe in Photoshop, you have the different layers. You have the background, you have the foreground, you have each petal as a layer, you have the middle as a layer. Even for photography, you can do this. Having the background as a layer, having the person as the middle layer, and then maybe something out of focus in the foreground. Uh, Recursion allows you to inscribe each layer, and then recursively, you can call those endpoints and put it back as a complete image back on Bitcoin. So what that looks like is you'll inscribe the background, you get an inscription ID, you'll inscribe the middle ground, the subject, you get an inscription ID, you'll inscribe the foreground, you get an inscription ID, and then you'll take all those inscription IDs and then you'll output it to one ordinal. So in your wallet, it could be your treasury, your vault, you'll have all the traits, the layers just sitting there. So you don't have to do anything with those layers. They can sit there. But then now, say if you made different types of backgrounds, you made different color petals. Say if your subject is a person or a chair or a car, you upload or inscribe different colors of cars. Now you can have a generative event where people can click a button and they can inscribe a different type of image based on each layer that you inscribed already, that you pre-inscribed for the output. And I love that, because now if you have a background that you love, you don't have to necessarily upload that background again, but you can use it for future works with different types of art you can create.
That is fascinating. Okay, so now we can think of recursion as a type of um, collage of works, which may then be later integrated into new works. And my question is it possible to
allow this to happen like indefinitely? Just whoever controls the wallet has the ability to create new works using recursion?
Well, so yeah, so once it's on Bitcoin, anyone can use it. So look at Bitcoin as a hard drive or a memory stick, and we're all inscribing and uploading to Bitcoin. Technically, any art on Bitcoin, you can do something. You can remix it. You can do something with it.
I mean, I mean, d- I mean, I not really. I mean, you would
Now,
be
now,
violating someone's copyright, but there's this
true.
little thing called intellectual property.
Now, if you make an anonymous account and you just start making art on Bitcoin, technically no one can do anything. But like the Web 2 or the centralized marketplaces can deny them. Um, but yeah, no one's just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of decentralized and anybody can do what they want with it. It kind of the same thing with applies to the art. Once it's on Bitcoin, technically anyone can do something with it, but it's like the
I think,
collector.
hold on a
Go ahead.
moment, please.
Go ahead.
Hold on a moment, please. I think it's very important. No, I'm being serious now. I think it's very important to be careful about the language that you're using because we don't want to have anyone mistakenly think you're encouraging them to disrespect an artist's copyright. We're not talking about doing that. I think what you're meaning to say is that there's no token gate or anything preventing you from re-accessing something once you've put it on chain. That's what you mean, right? Because I'm very serious. There are
Yeah.
people at all different levels, and we don't want anyone to think when you're saying you can do whatever you want. You don't want anyone to think that you're giving them permission to use someone else's work because we don't condone that kind of behavior.
Yeah. So me as an artist, and as a founder of a DAT, I definitely look to curating and bringing together community and champion, the story, the artist, their story, and what they're bringing. Um, Now, like I said, so if you look at Bitcoin almost as an LLM, kind of we see what's happening
Hold
right
on
now.
now. Wait a minute. You have
Go ahead.
to go back with your big fancy words. What is an
Okay.
LLM?
Let's take this one step at a time. All right. So LLM, large language model. So with AI, they're training these algorithms and these programs on large language models and just scrubbing the entire internet. They're scrubbing all the data to train these AIs. Now, did all of us give permission? I mean, maybe we did when we accept the terms and conditions to use Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But technically, what's happening on Bitcoin is kind of the same thing with AI. All of this art and information is getting put out there. So what I do encourage people to be unique, to do their own things. And in crypto, there's a lot of derivatives. There's a lot of cults, so people might fall in love with punks. And we have like 20 different types of punks projects out there. Now, when it comes to art, I say study the space. There's a lot of tools that can provide a lot of ways to present your art. Now, I'm not saying to just copy things and you know loosely, I guess, copy and redistribute what's already out there. Um, Obviously, Andy Warhol is famous for that. But what I will say is take note of what's possible. Take note of the technology. So myself, I would never. I'm not gonna say no, but I wouldn't see different types of art out there. And say, oh, I'm gonna use all these arts to create something new. I'm gonna take my own type of signature art, bring it to the blockchain space. And so me, since I'm a painter, I work in 3D. I'll recreate certain things. I entered a few art contests, and they allowed the contest, the contestants to take the image and remake it. So that's what I champion, and I encourage others to just have respect for artwork out there. I will put it out there first to have respect and to have conversation around this technology. And I'll say have fun too. Have fun. There are no gatekeepers, but if you want to be taken seriously, if you really want to create and have collectors come, then you're going to put a little bit more thought. Like you said before, it's not technically serious art, but you are putting your thoughts into this. You're putting your emotions, your spirit into this. So it should come across unique.
Yes, absolutely. So, just to give everyone an overview so far, we've got the dad's method where you have got your journals, not just two, maybe you've got three if you're a serious badass. And you're writing down the date, the application, you're writing down the account, the device, your seed phrase. You've got it in two or three locations. You've downloaded Xverse wallet. You've got more than one wallet on Xverse, you've got multiple wallets. You've got a hot wallet, you've got a warm wallet. If you're really seriously a badass, you've even got a few cold wallets. Got to keep that Ethereum somewhere, that Bitcoin somewhere. You're joining communities. So, if you want to, you can join this Art on Bitcoin Telegram. It's a Telegram that Maxximillian set up. So you're welcome to join us there so that we can continue this conversation because we're going to be back. We're going to be back with our description. We're going to be back sharing the art that we're first putting on Bitcoin. And you're welcome to join us. I'd like for all of you who would like to put your art on Bitcoin, whether it is a photograph, an image, a sketch, a painting, whatever it is that you envision, come back and join us. Talk to us about what you want to put on Bitcoin and experiment with the formats. Try the different formats, take your image, optimize it as best you can, try the different formats and see how it looks. Prepare your art like it's going on Bitcoin. And then maybe when we put ours on, you'll put yours on too. Maybe you'll do it before us even. Huh? Wouldn't that be something? Smarty pants. So we've gotten so far, we've covered a lot of material, and we're almost at the hour. My friends have a lot of really important things to do, but we've got about 11 minutes left. So if you've been watching, I see some of you are watching, and I want to thank you for joining us. I want you to know that if you type something attached to the live video, I can see it, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Or if you say something cool, I'll share your comment. But in the meantime, let me give Berhanu some space and opportunity. Berhanu, is there anything you want to ask Bit Savage?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Bit Savage. One of the questions I had is how is Adore going to assist artists um, that want to mint on Bitcoin with are you going to offer curation assistance or assistance with color grading for Bitcoin to make it approachable for some artists that may not have the financial means to mint on Bitcoin? That would be the first question I have for you.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so great question. Thanks for asking that. The vision, the goal is to have micro grants to allow artists to mint a few of their first pieces. Um, and my thing is, so I like the ability for artists to come in, get their hands dirty, and experiment. Because once they get comfortable with the technology, then the ideas can continue to flow. Um, in a way, I encourage people to approach it almost like in a traditional art world, to where you might curate or create 20 pieces, or 5, 10, however many pieces you create for an art show. You curate that many pieces, then you go on your marketing spree. You Twitter talks. So yeah, so for the question, in the beginning, having one-on-one meetings or small group meetings to where people can say, okay, this is the type of art I do. This is the file I use. What's the next step? And there's not an umbrella way to do everyone. But the best way is to kind of say, okay, like I said, with the file extensions, going from JPEG to PNG to WebP, seeing how it looks. Some people might like a grainy look. Some people may want a crisp look. So it's all about how the finished file looks, and if they're good, if they love how it looks, then we say, okay, let's look at the price. If the price is good, describe it. If it's way too much, then let's, like I said, go from 1,000 by 1,000 to 500 by 500. Let's reduce the size. So it's kind of having those one-on-ones or small groups to where everyone can feel good, and once they feel good, then they can teach. The teachers can teach others, and have that kind of community.
Really appreciate you answering that question.
Yeah.
Very generous. So let me ask you a question too, just about this. So, Berhanu, you say you have a question about you say you have a question about one of your collections. Okay, well, looking forward to hearing this. So, Bit Savage, Berhanu has a question, but it's in the context of his own art.
So, the first collection I have, they are color images, and they are really, really vibrant. And I'd like to keep them in the format that they're in. They are photographed in a medium format uh, style. They were captured on medium format, and I'd like to have them minted on Bitcoin in their original format. How will you be able to assist me with the proper color grading for minting on Bitcoin? And the cost of minting is not really a consideration. It is a consideration, but it's not.
Berhanu, let me just jump in and just clarify real quick. So, color grading is definitely fully like that's like an definitely like an artist thing. Definitely, that's like you to your taste, etc. So I'm wondering, when you speak of color grading, are you really speaking about finding the perfect harmony between file size and visual quality? Is that what you're really talking about when you use these terms, color grading? Because color grading is something very specific and definitely is, you know, outside of what I would expect any platform founder to be able to help with. So
I
I just wanted you to clarify if you're talking about like getting some like feedback and guidance on like how to get the most of what you're trying to capture in the file size. Is that what you mean?
That is a copy. That is correct. That is what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because I'm
because
like, well, you're asking a lot. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So let me answer this because I wrote it down. Small groups. Okay. Small groups for feedback is what we can do. We can have small groups. So, like, what if there's a regular time every week, let's say, and you know that anytime you have work ready, you can dip in there and say, hey, everybody, what looks better, A or B? That's like A B testing. And so, what I'm hearing is that you're looking for some guidance on how to maybe some templates on different things to try to get your file sizes down, which he gave. And what I'm also hearing is that you're looking for some place to go for feedback. And I think the solution that he shared is small groups or one-on-one. Is there something more that you're looking for?
well, I mentioned color grading because earlier in the conversation, Bit Savage mentioned, or at least I thought I heard him mention, part of minting is predicated on, or the price of minting is predicated on color, file size, etc. So I was getting to the point of the majority of the work that I have to mint is black and white. So for me as an artist, but these first two pieces, I want them to maintain their true color form. And that's where I was thinking about, okay, he mentioned color and minting. Do I need to work with him on the color grading, meaning altering the size structure of the color? But you hit the nail on the head. So my question is answered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think it gets very interesting when it comes to the colors. So yeah, so as soon as you said color grading, kind of jumped to film. And so what I would say is for your image, get it to exactly where you want it, and then from there we can see, okay, how is it affected if it's resized, and then it's a personal choice. Do you want to go back in and remove or mute a few colors? I think there's some tricks you can do with colors. Um, I'm not sure of all the tricks you can do when you mute them or they're not as vibrant, because I think reds and yellows take a lot of information. But you get it to where you want, then resize. Then, like Maximilian said, we can present it to the small group. Hey, you like version A, version B.
Yes, absolutely. And just to make it fun and interesting, I already have set aside time to meet weekly, so we could do this. It can even be, something like this where we all come on and you can show and we can all look, and we could even do a live poll, right? Yeah, because you want to do it all the time, not just once a month. I think when you make art every day, and maybe it's going to have to be up to you. I know on my birthday, which is in February, I'm going to start my uh, new piece of art every day inspired by people. I want to keep this practice for the rest of my life. So I wanted to start on a meaningful day, not just a random ass day. So I'm waiting till my birthday, but I've been practicing. But my point is that the more often that we mint, the more often that we, curate our work, I think the more confidence that we'll build and the better that we will become at really zeroing in on which different formats are most conducive to translating what we captured. But definitely the first and foremost thing is to get it where you like it first. Then you could run it through a script. I know you have a Mac, Berhanu, but you could run it through a script where it produces all the different formats for you in one go. You could make a little automator action and you could put it on your desktop so that any image you would drag in there can just put itself through the ringer and pop up, and we can look at them side by side if you want, in this small group, and maybe we'll invite some friends to join us, and we can have it. That's some art simp community time, because I'd be simping on this art, and I have to do it too. You know what I mean? So there it is. I'll figure out a good day and time, but I hope this will address that need, and maybe Bit Savage can come sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do some office hours. um,
Right
but no,
on.
I'm always there. I love having more of a community, especially with artists, collectors, and spectators. Like I want to curate more, in the Web3 space. So I got right now. I'm jumping into different discords, talking like art lovers and collectors, but having them in one space will be amazing, especially on Bitcoin. And I want to have a conversation about kind of what we talked about earlier on, like you said, on copyright, on
Oh,
what's
yes.
a good
Intellectual
standard,
property. Oh,
intellectual
yes.
property. Because it's like,
Oh, I am so
if
noisy on this topic. I'm so fucking noisy.
listen,
And wait, and
uh,
there's an attorney who we love who's in the crypto space. We should invite him too.
oh
He's such a lovely
yes,
fellow. I'll
yes,
invite him.
please do, because it's like if you're on Instagram and you're sharing your art, anyone can copy your art and repost it as theirs. If you're on Instagram and you're doing some amazing art, people can take that to the blockchain and inscribe it. Like this is what people are doing for the past 4 years. They're taking people things and selling them, and it still happens. I think on Solana it happens a lot. People just take art and they resell it as NFTs. So to stop this, it is to have those conversations and let people know if you see it, call it out, or don't try not to use this method. I don't know if you can stop it 100%, but you can talk to platforms, you can talk to dApps, you can talk to artists and collectors, so we can help self-police and just bring the type of loyalty and atmosphere we want.
We Kendrick Lamar in this shit. Let's go. I'm here to police it. I'm here to police it. My answer is the people who's responsible is it's an individual choice. It's what you do when you're all alone. It's late at night and no one can see over your shoulder what you're buying on the computer. You know what I'm saying? It depends, do you go in that back alley and you buy the handbag, or do you get it from Rodeo Drive? You know what I'm saying? Only you know the answer to that question. And hey, different strokes for different strokes. But the answer is it's an individual choice. But education matters a lot. And so if someone understands the reasons why, don't do that. If someone understands that that's like a kind of cultural bleed that we don't need. When people are extractive and they would become a vampire and suck the blood of the kind artists who put their heart and soul and money and time into making a work which by this action they hope to earn a living? Well, you don't want those people around. So you can't feed them. That's the most important thing. Once people understand that that's not the food chain that they want to be a part of, that's the first change that has to happen. It has to happen in the heart of the buyer. It's a cultural change that will change the world, and the culture is within each individual. So it's a personal choice, but you got to choose the right one. And I think the way to do that is by saying, yeah, it is important. And, you know, there's certain things people do just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Some people do care. And yeah, there is a difference between the fake bag and the real one. And the difference is the change you see in the world. That is the most important thing to understand is that you have to support the people that you want to thrive in the world. And when you buy fake shit, you're supporting people who don't give a fuck about anyone. And you don't want to support that. So
Beautiful.
put your money where
No,
your mouth is. That's what I'm
I,
saying.
yeah, I think it's spot on. I think it's well said, and it's basically starve what you don't want, feed what you do want. I love it. I'm here for it, and it's time to have some full, wealthy artists out here, and pour into what we support.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I see we are at the top of the hour. So, Bit Savage, I know you said you have to jump off. And I know Berhanu may have a few extra minutes. I'm not sure. He does. Okay. So anytime you have to go, Bit Savage, you just say goodbye. You know what I'm saying? But we really appreciate your time. And looking forward to seeing you again. Hopefully, same bat time, same bat channel, or another one. You let me know. We'll chop it up in the back channels because we have to do this again and continue making progress. Next time, we'll be back with our artworks, our um, I got your sample JSON file. So next time, perhaps we look at that JSON file and see what does perfection look like as a JSON file. And look forward to seeing you then.
Nice. Yeah, I think, like you said, we could do like an actual live. I think if you share your screen, kind of go through the format and the website for that. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so it's a little bit technical. But if you're familiar with like manifold or I think transient, if you're in Web3, you're familiar with these dApps, then you'll kind of get the hang of it. JSON's just a little bit more technical, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm for it. I want to say thank you for having me. Both of you are incredible people, and just want to say I love what you're presenting, what you're bringing. Continue to do it. The world needs to see and hear everything that you're doing, that we're doing. Like it's truly needed. I know sometimes as an artist you might feel like, oh, does this even matter? Yes, it matters. Yes, every little sketch, everything you do, every picture you take, it all matters. And that's kind of like the another picture I want to paint, that it's not about the mainstream artist. It's about the individual, all the individuals collectively creating, expressing themselves, sharing our stories. This is what humanity needs. We need to experience life and present it to others. One person might be going through something and could connect with your art, so that matters the most. So don't second guess yourself. Push it to the limit and pass it. Thank you for having me. We got a lot that's happening. So here to have another space again next week. Yeah, let's tap in, get in the Telegram. Let's go. We're on Bitcoin and we're going beyond, build a legacy. Let's go.
Yeah, Bit Savage gets me so hyped. Woo! Oh my gosh, so exciting, so exciting. Well, Verhanu, so you got you I mean, I feel like if this was if your art on Bitcoin is a pond, I feel like you dipped your toe in the water up to the at least up to the kneecap. How are you feeling?
My thigh is all wet.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, okay. So, what it's do you have any parts that you want to unpack or discuss or think about out loud? Anything like that?
Yeah, I just enjoyed hearing and learning about, what Bit Savage is doing and how he is wanting to help artists get into a different and a more dynamic place, and you bringing us together to talk about this and to talk about Adore and getting me onboarded into, into the world of Bitcoin and getting onto a place that has much more provenance for me as an artist so that my work will live in legacy on, on the blockchain, not being restricted to a platform that could, that could fold. And then I wonder where my work is, like some of the work I had on the Tezos blockchain, and the aforementioned website where I have to hunt around for the art that I created that may not have sold. And those are all part of the early learning stages for me as an artist that has, stepped into the waters of creating NFTs, and now having this wonderful evening with you two and with everybody else that's shown up today, having a thigh that's nice and wet about Bitcoin. That sounds kind of interesting. Nice and wet about Bitcoin. Yeah, anyway, I digress. I'm excited.
Well, hey, what can we say? That's how we roll. Exciting. Yeah, I told you that you'd appreciate Bit Savage's artistry even when it comes to code. And we haven't even got into the magic numbers yet or the lore of of his brand that he's created. I'm so in love with it. I'm enjoying the reveal. So I wanted to say, I don't know if it's going to be something that interests you, Berhanu, but I've really enjoyed spending the last week. I have been, kind of away from social media friends. I miss you a lot, slide in my DMs, slide in my DMs. I miss you. Uh, I've been busy programming some art, and it's been really exciting. Um, I feel like every new art collection that I endeavor to make, I learn something new, break something, and in trying to figure out how to put it together, make some new discoveries. And so I'm finding as I was approaching this topic of what I'd like to put on Bitcoin, also thinking of this very small file size, which is, it's difficult for me because I'm an art maximalist and I'm all about gold, metallic, shiny diamonds. That's my thing. So when I've already launched art on Bitcoin. I have 20 pieces on Bitcoin already. And it was a learning process too. And it changed the pieces entirely, because of the small file size. It just demanded that my art be different. And I embraced it and I reimagined it. Now, if I approached those same artworks, I would probably, possibly, you know, uh, curate it differently, maybe. Um, but one thing is for sure, I learned that that style of photography, that style of artistry is really, um, it suffers. But there are some types of photography that I think would just be marvelous on Bitcoin. For example, anything monochromatic, anything black and white, minimalist photography. This will do well. High contrast, yes, bring it on. So, but anything that relies on like high color, I think be willing to make the size small. Look into protocols that would allow someone to um, engage with a high resolution version of these colorful artworks, perhaps in a different way. We have to get creative. It's like if you are in a romantic relationship and this person inspires you to bring wildflowers So you bring, I don't know, hibiscus and sweet pea every time you walk to visit them, right? Drop it off. Hey, girl, thinking of you. Those are the flowers that you give, right? So the seasons change. You don't talk to her anymore. Uh, Whatever. Onward. You've wiped your tears. You've moved on. Sorry, it didn't work out. You meet the next love. Well, she lives in the same direction. Now, are you gonna just stop and pick the same flowers off the same bush and just, do the same? No, right? I mean, like, I hope you don't. Not that flowers ever get old, but better to come up with a new ritual to honor this new lover, is what I'm saying. And in the same way, we don't want to take like the big, nasty, juicy, delicious, dripping files that we would maybe put on the Ethereum blockchain and try and do the same thing over on Bitcoin. Think of Bitcoin as that new lover who deserves a bit of originality. That's all I'm saying.
I like that. That's really good. And I also like the fact, I love the fact actually, that black and white monochromatic works much better. Not works much better, it just works differently with Bitcoin. But I also love that we can be creative and make small file sizes of color images, but then get creative with redirecting folks to where they can pick up a different edition of that piece. Since I own the intellectual property, I own the rights to the images because I created the images. That's nice to hear. That that is something that can be uh, that can take place. That can happen. It doesn't have to just be this one small file size and that's it. What you see is what you get. But I love the idea of having all of these black and white collections that I've created. I'm excited about that.
I'm excited about it too, especially since you leaked a couple pieces and you let me see. And I think your photography is beautiful and timeless. And it reminds me of some of my favorite places I've been in the night. Seriously. Seriously, they're really like enchanting, mysterious, seductive. If someone said to me, yeah, someone said to me, describe these images, the word I would use, seductive. Yeah, your photography's seductive. So I'm glad that you're going to put it on Bitcoin. I totally get that.
Yay! I'm excited about that. And thank you. I appreciate that they are tantalizing and familiar to you in the dark alleys.
The vibes, I'm from California. We're all about vibes. I'm like, I know these vibes, these seductive vibes, these black and white vibes, giving me the sophisticated late night vibes. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I don't just drink Chianti and read my leather-bound Dickens novels on my inversion table. Not every night.
Not every night, he said. Exactly. See, this is why it's so important that you're putting art on Bitcoin because people need to get a little taste of the life. Which brings me to, let me say, it's been really nice talking with you, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. And respecting all of our time because I know you got some important things to do. I know I do. I've got to finish programming this art because uh, I really want to get it out there, and I've been tickling it, and it's like, all right, let me go, go. So I got to go and finish tickling it and set it free so it can get out into the world and let everybody play with it. But do you have any last words that you would like to say, Berhanu?
Yeah, I do. Everybody, thank you for joining us, and Maximilian, thank you for hosting us. And yes, we did meet for the first time in person in Miami at Art Basel, and it's great that we've had a couple of years together online in the metaverse. And when we met in person, it was like we already danced. and it was great, and it has been great ever since then. So thank you. Thank you. So much respect for you. And again, thank you, everybody. Hopefully, you'll join and tap in with us next week. So thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure to see you as always, and looking forward to seeing you again next week. And looking forward to making progress on all of the many decisions that artists make, putting art on the blockchain. You know, I simp on this art. So thanks for spending time with Art Simp, and we'll see you next week.